national anthem, I think, on a trumpet, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll find out about that in just a bit. All right, Juan Manuel Marquez is going to go defending his title. That would be the NABO Featherweight Championship against Agapito Sanchez. Marquez is from Mexico City, and Sanchez is from the Dominican Republic. And here he is. Sanchez is a guy, Rich, fighting out of Brooklyn, 22-3, 14 knockouts. This guy's been around. This is no walk in the park, this kid.
Yeah, this is a cocky little guy. He's very confident. You can see, look at that expression, Tom. That's cockiness coming into the ring. And a little bit of ego on Agapito Sanchez. He feels that Juan Manuel Marquez is not going to be much of a problem for him tonight, that he's been in with too good of fighters in the past, that he's beaten very good fighters in the past, and he thinks Marquez is not ready for the likes of him.
Well, it'll be an interesting test, no question about it, but Nacho Beristain, who handles the career of Juan Manuel Marquez, is not opposed to putting him in with tough guys like this, because in his book, it is the only way to find out just how good you are, and that is, after all, the bottom line about this business of boxing. Find out how good you are and dominate your sport. So we've got Agapito Sanchez is into the ring now and all set to go, and of course that brings us around to where we'll be looking at the champion, and here he is. Handsome youngster out of Mexico City. Seems to get better every time we see him. This is Juan Manuel Marquez. 19 straight wins. This kid gets better every time we look at him.
Yes, and following right behind him, Nacho Beristain, the very respected trainer of champions, world champions in Mexico, a great trainer. And every time we ask him about Marquez, he looks at us and goes, well, he's a good prospect.
Yes, that's right. That's about as good an accolade as you can get from Beristain. I tell you, Marquez never turns and looks as if to say, what do you mean, pretty good prospect? He takes it as gospel. And of course, that's a magnificent reputation that Beristain has, and a great rapport he has with this young guy. He's a good-looking young fighter, and he's won 19 straight. And Fernando Paramo was telling me that the opening fight of his career, he got disqualified or lost because they said he knocked the guy out after the bell. And it was a very disputed thing, but it went into the books as a defeat. There's Sanchez. Ought to be a dandy fight. Glad you could join us. Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s got all kinds of people introduced, a lot of business. Let's go to the center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with our action at this time, we ask you to rise for the playing of our national anthem. In the ring, presenting the colors, we have the U.S. Marine Corps Color Guard, recruiting station Los Angeles. And to lead us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Del Oro recording artists, introducing David and the Venetian Blondes. Red and the Venetian Blondes. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Great Western Forum for our featured attraction of the evening, brought to you by Forum Boxing Incorporated and Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the North American Boxing Organization Supervisor Joe Hernandez, along with the California State Athletic Commission, the chairman, Willie Buchanan, vice chairman Ernie Weiner, executive director Richard DeCure. Our judges scoring this bout from ringside, we have Chuck Hassett, Dick Young, Fritz Werner, and our referee in charge, introducing Pat Russell. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening, the NABO Featherweight Championship, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing gold trunks with black trim, fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, by way of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. He weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds. His record stands at 22 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight's challenger is the former WBC International Featherweight Champion, introducing Agapito, El Ciclón Sanchez. And his opponent across the ring, the defending champion on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with red trim, fighting out of and representing Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in at 125 and 1/2 pounds. His fine record includes 19 wins, only 1 defeat, 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the defending NABO Featherweight Champion, Juan Manuel Marquez. Once again, Pat Russell, our referee in charge.
Without Campio, 12 rounds. 10 rounds. Touch does. Buena suerte. Touch your gloves. Touch your gloves. Good.
All right, let's check the tail of the tape for these two. Marquez, 5'7", 3 inches taller than Sanchez. He's a half-pound lighter. He's 4 years younger than Sanchez, and he has a reach advantage of 4 inches. The NABO rules governing this title fight: 10-point must system. Winner of the round gets 10, the loser a lesser number. 3 knockdown rule in effect. No standing 8 counts. Saved by the bell in the last round only. Referee or doctor can stop the fight, and if they stop the fight due to a headbutt, they'll go to the cards after the 3rd round. Pat Russell standing by. There's the bell, and here we go. It's scheduled for 12, and this is round 1. Sanchez is in the gold or yellow, trimmed in frills of black. And in the black trunks trimmed in red is Juan Manuel Marquez.
Sanchez works very hard in the ring, Tom. He's can be a good mover. He really competes, though. A very good body puncher, takes a good shot. Known for being a dirty fighter at times, especially for low blows. He's been disqualified in his career. Keep that in mind, and keep in mind that you've got still a relatively inexperienced opponent across the ring from him, Marquez, who may not have seen the type of tactics that Sanchez could show to him here tonight.
Marquez, we've had the good fortune, and I don't mean to intimate that we are going to slant our comments in his favor, because we wouldn't do that. But we watched him literally grow up, Rich. Watched him get knocked down for the first time and bounce back up. Everything. Right, come away from what might have been a disappointing loss to a pretty good win. Maybe one he really didn't deserve. I'm thinking about the one with Wheeler, but we watched him grow up, no question about it.
Well, one thing I like about Marquez is in the ring, Tom, is that he does have a great heart, and he does respond to situations that when it looks very tough for him, he will come back. That Wheeler fight, he kept at it. He was being outpointed, and finally, although the stoppage was controversial in the 10th round, he stopped Wheeler, even though he was behind on points and about to lose a decision to Wheeler. And then in the Daryl Pinckney fight that you talked about, he took a smack right on the chin and went down, and it was a good, solid knockdown by Pinckney, a guy, remember, who knocked out Junior Jones. Keep that in mind.
That's right.
And Marquez tasted that power of Pinckney, but came back to beat him.
Yes, he did. So he has really matured as we watched him in his career. Can you clarify one thing for me? What is the WBC International Championship? I'm not quite clear on that.
I don't know. I think they needed a title for one of the fights along the way, and they came up with that one. They've got the Intercontinental. They've got the international.
Well, why not?
There's
That was a title held by Agapito Sanchez, nicknamed the Cyclone.
Titles hardly mean much anymore unless you're at the very top and you're talking about that world championship.
That's right. Yeah, they can almost find a set of letters, an alphabet soup thing to lay on you, no matter what division, what weight, wherever you're fighting. So,
and that's why, what is important now is a good fight and a good matchup, and just see who wins. And that's enough, I think, for most fight fans.
Pat Russell is the referee. I like his work. He never interferes with the fighters. He is at a distance from them. He lets them fight. And he's almost unnoticed out there, but he'll be right on top of it should the situation warrant it. Nice exchange. Right hand by Marquez. A pretty good right answering to the body by Sanchez. Round one. A lot of dancing, moving, trying to fade each other out and look one another over. We'll be back after this.
Pepsi theft. It can happen anywhere, anytime. Fight back. Introducing the Pepsi Club. Now Pepsi moments don't have to become anxious moments.
Excuse me.
What you were about to see did not actually happen, but it could happen.
They took everything! Look, Ma, the Pepsi Club works.
Not today. Thank you, Pepsi Club.
Pepsi, Generation Next.
Available in 6-pack.
Hitting it further than you've ever dreamed. Staying out of jail more often. That's what owners of titanium bubble drivers are telling us, including some well-known ones. The easy swinging power of the titanium bubble driver. Tailor-made. Find your game.
Out they come for round two, and right toward the end of round number one, while Sanchez suffered a cut over the right eye, high up in what would be the eyebrow, and that's the bad news. The good news, Rich Morata, is that Chuck Bodak is working in his corner, and he's one of the best cut men in all of boxing.
Yeah, and Bodak went right to work on it. Looks like it could be a kind of a cut that could develop into something that would be dangerous for Sanchez along the way. But again, Bodak is as good as there is right now in terms of a cut man, so he's got a good man in his corner for that.
And of course, Rich is referring to the fact that the cut would be above the eye, hence the possibility of blood coming down into the eye and affecting the vision. And of course, once that happens, why then the fighter starts to rub at it, of course, and that just exacerbates the situation and makes it a lot worse. This is round two. They're scheduled for 12.
Sanchez,
featherweights.
A lot of movement, Tom, and even when he's standing still on his feet, he gives you a lot of movement. He gets down in the crouch and starts shaking his shoulders around. It looks like almost nervous movement. Reminds me of Don Coryell on the sidelines of the Chargers.
Easy now.
Making you nervous just watching him.
I was the Charger announcer during those halcyon days in San Diego. I'll tell you, Coryell was something. He was magnificent.
Marquez, I thought, landed the most significant punch of the first round. A good, solid right hand on the chin, probably enough to get him around.
And while they bounce up and down at long range, suddenly they step into one another, and each connects with that left hand, or they have so far. That's been the pattern of this fight. This is round number two. And it's scheduled for 12, of course, with the title on the line. You know, you talked about the Chargers. Boxing commissioner of the state of California, Willie Buchanan, great defensive back for the Chargers. War number 28. What a good ball player Willie was. His best days might have been with Green Bay, and he finished up his career down in San Diego, went to San Diego State, but he was a magnificent. Nice left hand to the body on that exchange by Sanchez.
The last time we saw Marquez, he was fighting Cedric Mingo at the Pond in Anaheim. He gradually wore him down. One thing about Marquez is he's very patient in the ring, Tommy. He always sticks to his game plan, and he doesn't necessarily go for broke in the early rounds, but he sticks to his game plan, and usually he ends up getting to you.
And he landed a good left that Sanchez ran into, and an overhand right over the left hand of Sanchez.
I thought that of the fighters that we saw at the Forum and at the Pond last year, as promoted by Forum Boxing, that Marquez put in the best single individual performance on one night when he fought former WBA bantamweight champion Julio Gervasio down at the Pond. He just fought an absolutely flawless, almost perfect fight against Gervasio and knocked him out in the 8th round. It was a brilliant, brilliant showing.
Chuck Bodak's going to be busy, Rich, between rounds. We'll go with Sanchez, and that cut is opened up again over the right eye of Sanchez. And you can see the blood coming down in Bodak with his back to you. He's one of the very best in the business. He's right in there on top of that. The people, Francisco Guzman, Rodolfo Aguilar. Those are the people in there, and that's Bodak, who was taking center stage, and why not? That's what he's got to do, is stem the flow there.
Chuck will take care of this cut.
Over on the other side, we go to Marquez's corner, and things are not nearly so hectic, very quiet. That's Nacho Beristain, right over his shoulder. And I tell you, the only surprise you'd have in that corner would be if Juan Manuel Marquez ever looked away while Beristain was talking to him. He is very intent on everything the man says.
Tom, I just checked with Pat Russell, and I'm surprised he told me that he did rule a headbutt.
Really?
And Dick Young, the judge sitting next to me, didn't know it himself.
No,
so,
I didn't see the ruling either.
So now we know that it's a situation that if this fight gets stopped after this next round, we will go to the scorecards if it's forced to be stopped because of the cut eye, which Russell says was caused by a headbutt.
Well, it is going to be a troublesome, worrisome thing, I believe, that cut.
Sanchez has won 3 consecutive bouts since he lost a 12-round decision to Marco Antonio Barrera, a fight in which he fought for Barrera's World Championship, WBO, at 122 pounds. Marquez, by the way, has risen to 5th in the WBO rankings, so he's holding on to that NEBO title. So he's getting into position now for where he might be able to challenge for a championship fight.
These men are featherweights. I'm wondering what they actually weigh coming into the ring here tonight. You mentioned Barrera and in his vain effort to get the title back from Junior Jones. He actually weighed 132 pounds when he fought Saturday night last week, and Jones himself weighed 126 or 28. So
it appears as though in the lighter weights, Tom, and by that I'm talking 140 on down, the fighters are putting on at least 5 to 10 pounds in the one day, the 24 hours between the weigh-in and the fight.
Marquez is wearing the black trunks trimmed in red and the gold trimmed in black, worn by Agapito Sanchez of the Dominican Republic. You know who's buried in the Dominican Republic? Christopher Columbus. In fact, Christopher Columbus discovered the New World by landing at Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, the other half of the island of Haiti.
You're a fount of knowledge.
He's buried there in a place called the Prima Cathedral, was the first cathedral built in the New World in about 1512.
I have a whole new respect for the level of intent.
Pat Russell stepping in quickly to warn Sanchez about getting his blows up. Sanchez comes into the fight tonight with a reputation of sometimes not being able to recognize the belt line from the kneecap, and throws punches that land anywhere in between. There's another left hand that's low, and Russell looked at him, and I don't know if...
And you know Russell knows that reputation, and he's beginning to look for it here probably by Sanchez. When you develop that reputation, referees will be looking for it to happen.
Yeah.
There's another one too, Tom.
Body style's quite a contrast. Heavily muscled, that's Sanchez, and Marquez not nearly so heavily muscled. What a good fight this is, though. We'll be back.
Still using Western Union to wire money? Next time, go to MoneyGram and save up to $9, unless you'd rather be taken here. MoneyGram. Always less than Western Union. Still using Western Union to wire money? Next time, use MoneyGram and save up to $9, because taking one bath a day is enough. MoneyGram, the better way to wire money.
The new Dodge. To find the pickups that are #1 in sales growth in California, here's a hint. You can out-drive, out-hustle, out-tough, out-muscle, out-tow, out-run, out-work, and out-fun. Show them what you got.
From more available power to greater resale, Dodge Ram is #1 in more categories versus Ford, Chevy, and GMC. Ram's also California's coolest, thanks to air at no extra charge.
California's Truck Stop.
The new Dodge.
After 3 rounds, Rich Marotta has Marquez, the defending champion in the NABO featherweight division, up a point, 29-28.
And keep in mind, too, that Marquez, though, is one of those fighters who gets better, it seems like, as a fight wears along. And is almost stronger after the 5th round than he was at the beginning of the fight.
Nice jab there by Marquez. He's in the black trunks, crimson red, an overhand right and a left hand to the body.
Yeah, I like how Juan throws his punches, Tommy, how he holds them up in a good defensive posture there. See that stance? A good classic stance. Hands up high, really pays attention to detail, throws a pretty good jab.
I think by the looks of these two guys, as they look at each other, they respect each other's ability too. Both men really wary of making that one mistake, a punch that isn't thrown just right, that allows the other guy to come back like a lazy left and a big-time right hand to follow it. They're very wary of each other. Nice jab by Sanchez.
Marquez is trying to counter, though, Tom. He's trying to, in the last 2 punches, he's waited for Sanchez to lead and then has countered each of them effectively.
Bojack has lived up to his reputation. I don't think the cut of the right eye of Agapito Sanchez has been a factor. Nice left hand, good countering left hand, almost an uppercut thrown in there by Marquez. That right hand landed on the gloves. It was blocked as much as anything else, but it was a nice-looking punch, wasn't it, Rich?
Yes, absolutely, but Sanchez is tricky, Tom. He's a hard guy to get a real good, clean shot on because he gives you all that nervous movement, which he's adding lateral movement to it in this round as well.
Don't you find the body styles interesting? Sanchez heavily muscled and looks just like he's been chiseled out of marble, and Marquez is more lean of form, huh?
Yeah, I prefer, if I had to choose just on looks, as far as boxing is concerned, though, the type of body that Marquez has. That seems to me the kind of body where you really get the guys who have the power. Lean, that lithe type body, that Danny Little Red Lopez, Thomas Hearns kind of look.
Nice exchange. These two guys were in round number 4, warming up to the task. Scheduled for 12. The NABO featherweight title on the line. Juan Manuel Marquez in the black and the red is the current champion. Won it with a knockout victory over Cedric Mingo down at the pond not too long ago. Won 19 in a row. His opponent, Agapito Sanchez, is 22-3 with 14 knockouts, making his forum and 97 debut. And round 4 comes to a close. While the two fighters repair to their corners, I'll remind you the Ringsiders Club is offering you select seating, complimentary parking, and exclusive Forum Club membership. Join the Ringsiders Club, see the action up close, and become a part of the finest boxing program in America. Call now. The operators are standing by at 310-673-1773. And Chuck Bodak continues to work on the eyebrow over the right eye of Agapito Cyclone Sanchez out of the Dominican Republic.
Chuck working on the eye and the nose simultaneously there, putting some Vaseline up the nose as well.
Across the way, literally unmarked. Juan Manuel Marquez, Nacho Beristain. Only one man talks in that corner, huh, Reg?
Absolutely. Well, you have to respect everything that Nacho Beristain has put together. Latest miracle, Zaragoza.
Isn't that unbelievable? Boy, I'll tell you, Zaragoza, in case you missed it, went over to Osaka and beat the Japanese champion and
Tetsuyoshi.
Yeah, scooped up maybe a $500,000. He continues to go along. Fernando Paramo, you know, the story about Zaragoza is that at every fight, he's 38, maybe 39. He's going to retire. And about halfway through every fight, he gets his second wind and turns around and says to whomever will listen, cancel that retirement party. We're going to continue here a little bit longer.
Yeah. Change of plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just keeps going on. He's made more money in the last 2 years than he did in the first 15 years of his professional career.
The man is really in demand, and just a phenomenon. That right hand looked better than it was, thrown by Marquez. It landed. Not a bad right hand by Sanchez in return. We're in the 5th round of about scheduled for 12.
Sanchez is having to reach for Marquez, and that is leaving him open, Tom, as he reaches out with the left hand and lunges a little bit. He is open for counter blows.
Remember our tale of the tape, Rich, where Marquez has got a reach of 68 inches as opposed to 64 for Sanchez, which means he indeed does have a problem in reaching out and making contact. And, of course, he is shorter by about 3 inches at 5'7" to 5'4", so he does have those things to overcome. There was a punch thrown low, really low, but Marquez paid it no mind.
Remember, this guy went the distance with Barrera when Marco Antonio was knocking everybody out.
Held the WBO 122-pound title. Nice boxing by Sanchez, and he threw the left hand. Wasn't a big-time punch, but it did land. Did a flurry of punches by Marquez that landed on nothing.
And here you see, too, that patience I talked about from Marquez. A little bit frustrating, I think, for him in this round, Tom, but he sticks to his game plan. I mean, he doesn't go crazy, doesn't go wild, he's not getting out of sorts, even when Sanchez lands a shot like that. He just believes in what he does, he believes in the instructions he gets from Beristain, and he sticks to them.
Nice exchange, and punch was low, and Sanchez was cautioned for just a moment.
Sanchez beginning to bleed a little bit more now, Tom. A cut is open again, and the blood dripping pretty strong down his face.
Well, Bodak will be back at it in a moment while this round comes to a close.
Well, not much of a crowd here today, but it should be a good game. All right, Stewart's batting 3 here.
Hold my Budweiser. I'm going to go find those guys.
All right, Wedman toes the rubber. Delivered. Whoa! A long drive to left field. That ball's going to carry. It's going out of here. There's one lucky fan out there, but he's got something in his hands. What's he going to do? He's got to make his move. This doesn't look good. Oh, that ball bounced about 20 feet off his head.
Please, just let go of the beer.
Let go of the beer, son.
Science! Hey, want to see some cool things? At the Smithsonian. From famous flyers to four-wheelers, Tucker made 51 of these cars Washington sold. Rocket ships. Dizzy Gillespie's trumpet. Lizard lips. The Smithsonian. Discovered.
And Discover Card is proud to be partners in the anniversary celebration.
Jaws.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
The bell brings him out for round number 6. This is scheduled for 12. With Sanchez on the left in the gold and black. In the black and red is the NABO featherweight champion, Juan Manuel Marquez.
There was some really good work by Marquez in the final minute of that last round. He was beginning to get to Sanchez. I thought he was beginning to have an effect. His punches finally beginning to have an effect and discourage Sanchez a little bit. And I think the cut was bothering Sanchez a little bit at the end of that last round.
And a nice jab and a right hand that scored by Marquez a moment ago. Caught Sanchez rather flush, and there's another low blow. Boy, I'm surprised Russell didn't take a point away. He's cautioned him a couple of times.
Marquez did not require a rest, which we have been told now that under California rules, if a fighter needs a rest after a low blow, they're going to have to, it's mandated, take a point away from the fighter who inflicted the low blow. I think, personally, I think that's a terrible rule, and I think it's only a matter of time before we see that rule abused very badly by fighters who want to get a rest and want to get an extra point in the scoring.
It does kind of leave him a trap door or an escape route, but remember that the referee has to determine determined that it's been a low blow and has to give the fighter the time. According to Marty Denkin, who certainly knows he's one of the best in the business, sitting about 25 feet away from us. He's not working in this fight. It's incumbent upon the referee, if you give the fighter time to recover, you must assess the other fighter, take a point away for the low blow.
I don't like that rule.
I agree with you.
Record right now.
It would give a lot of people a chance to slip through the, fall through the cracks of it.
Well, why does it have to be mandated, Tom? I mean, the referee is there to make that kind of a judgment.
True.
Whether to deduct a point or not.
To his credit, Marquez has not given any indication that they'll hit low. There was a major problem for him, and he hasn't asked for any kind of relief.
No, he's a poised fighter in there.
I tell you, they're beginning to tee off now. The howdy-doos and gee, it's good to see you again. Part of this fight is all over. These guys are beginning to get down to the nitty-gritty, so to speak. We're in round number 6. About a half a minute remaining. Neither man has been down. In the first round, a headbutt caused a cut over the right eye in the eyebrow of Agapito Sanchez. He's in the golden flag.
Sanchez is not an easy guy to fight, despite the fact that he will come forward. He doesn't necessarily run from you. He'll come forward, but he will give you so much movement and so many different looks and little angles that he becomes difficult to get a good, clean shot on.
But he is the type of fighter that Marquez fights best against, the guy that comes right at him. And in this regard, I don't know if Sanchez has any other recourse, Rich. He is shorter by 3 inches, and his reach is 4 inches less than that of Marquez. So we go back into Sanchez's corner. They're not working that much on the eye. I think Bodak has done a good job. I would expect nothing better than that from Bodak. He's outstanding.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He goes to work on it now, but it's really not bleeding very much.
No.
I don't think Marquez did much in that round offensively against Sanchez.
Here's the low blow, Rich. What do you think?
All right, we'll take a look at it now. Now, that is below the belt line, no question about it. Here it comes, below the belt line, not really down low in the groin area, though, and although he stepped back and needed to collect himself, Pat Russell determined no point deduction.
And that's the face of the champion, Juan Manuel Marquez, winner of 19 straight. And he might be undefeated were it not for the ruling by the officials that he had knocked out the man in his first professional fight after the bell. Hence he was given a loss, so he's 19-1. Pretty good answering left hand that's thrown by Sanchez, and it too looked as though it might be a home run.
This is a tremendous learning experience for the youngster, Juan Manuel Marquez. Up to turn 24 in a couple months.
Rich, he landed a solid left hand, Marquez did, and it just made Sanchez blink, and he backed up and got hit with the right hand and comes back to mix it up again and throws the left. Really a good, solid shot by Marquez.
And only the second time that I can recall in the fight where he actually gave ground.
Marquez, the taller of the two, by 3 inches.
But this is a guy, Sanchez, who takes a great shot and recuperates very quickly anyway if you hurt him.
Pretty good exchange. I don't know who came away from that the worse off.
But I like Marquez's work in there, that counter punch, that little left hand. Right up the center.
Marquez, a big favorite for the crowd. Crowd beginning to get on Sanchez now. So the crowd is certainly pro-Hispanic there. Nice right hand lead by Marquez. Marquez is almost a local favorite. They've seen him fight so many times here at the Great Western Forum. Sanchez making his debut here at the Great Western Forum.
Good left hand. Yeah, this has been the round really where Marquez Marquez has been able to land the cleanest blows that he has in the fight. Sanchez, again, has given ground on a couple of times, really hasn't been close to going down, but he's been hit. Each time when he gets hit, he seems to go to a little bit of lateral movement. They try to throw Marquez off.
Which is not a bad idea.
Marquez fighting a very controlled round, though, and it's allowing him to land a number of good, clean punches.
Good shot to the body by Sanchez, and a busy exchange as we come to the end of the round.
I forget yourself about the love A-ball. The number one money that is called A-ball. Now I'm caught up in the rapture, coming with the boot that growls like a tiger. If one ain't enough, two will be a lot flyer. Need a tongue pleaser, don't settle for a teaser. 8 balls, even better, ice cold from the free. Grab as many as you want, G, cause we got the best smoke liquor in the country. Round and round it goes, drink it up, drink it up. Straight from the bottle, no need for the cups. So all you other brews better act like you know who's number one. So big I gotta go that you call A-ball.
Still using Western Union to wire money? Next time, use MoneyGram and save up to $9. Unless you don't mind getting MoneyGram, the better way to wire money. Still using Western Union to wire money? Next time, use MoneyGram and save up to $9. Unless you don't mind getting ripped off. MoneyGram, the better way to wire money.
Right on cue, as usual, Juan Manuel Marquez picking it up as the fight wears along. You saw that left, but watch a terrific right. Boom, right on the button by Marquez. He was putting punches together and landing good, crisp, sharp, clean shots in round 7.
Might have been as good as any 2 punches thrown so far in the fight, and it's been an action-packed affair as we're into round number 8. It is scheduled for 12 if you've just joined us. Marquez is the NABO heavyweight champion. Agapito Sanchez, outstanding fighter. Flyweight, featherweight. He's really been an outstanding fighter as he's grown up in the divisions. And here we are in the featherweight class now.
Marquez getting better as the fight goes along. This is the usual script with Juan Manuel, but he's in there with a better guy than he's ever fought before.
The only mark either man sports is a cut over the right eye that Chuck Bodak has taken very good care of. Over the eye, I should say, of Agapito Sanchez came as a result of a headbutt in the first round. Sanchez walks into a left hand that, where it moved over just about 2 inches, might have been a good night. Well, each man very respectful. Nice uppercut by Marquez. Very much aware of the ability of both men. A good left hand by Sanchez.
Yeah, he gets in there, Tom, but what happens is he is getting countered a lot as he goes in. It makes you reluctant to move in there if you keep getting countered and keep getting hit a clean shot, even after you land. Marquez, I think, is doing a very effective job.
He's got him hurt. He hurt him with an uppercut, Rich, and he's got Sanchez against the ropes in the corner, and he's all over him like white on rice. He really nailed him with an uppercut with the right hand. I'll tell you, Sanchez is tough, and as you said earlier, he does recuperate in a hurry, doesn't he?
Yes. It took him a few seconds there. He was really rocked. He was in some real deep trouble there. First time in the fight that anybody has really been in dire straits.
I'll tell you, Sanchez doesn't take many backward steps. Hurt, still comes moving in now, trying to regain his composure, and he's not standing around or clinching, trying to get his head cleared. He's right back at it.
Yeah, but he's slowing down some, Tom, and his head movement is getting less and less, which is enabling Marquez to land better on him. He's got that head not moving as a target.
We're in round number 8. It's scheduled for 12, and he will show it to you again. Rest assured, that was a corking good uppercut that Marquez threw, and it really jolted Sanchez and started a heavy barrage that Sanchez weathered.
Really typical of a Juan Manuel Marquez fight, as he just keeps getting better and stronger as the fight wears on.
Well, you see now the blood continuing to flow, or starting again over the right eye of Sanchez, and some concern in his corner, of course. He took a real solid shot. Watch it now.
He landed that right, and then he came up the middle with a left. And right here, you can see that as he stumbled back, that Sanchez was in trouble, looking for a way out. But those punches are all landing. This is very good work in terms of accuracy by Marquez. That right uppercut seemed to get him into trouble, and then a double one. A second uppercut, I think, was the real key punch there. It backed Agapito Sanchez back into the ropes, and Marquez with the most awesome flurry of the fight.
It was indeed a big round for this young man who wears the NABO featherweight title. He nailed Sanchez with everything in his arsenal there, Rich. Maybe in the back of his mind he's saying to himself, I got to do this 2 or 3 times to put this guy away, apparently, because Sanchez recovered and recouped in almost record time. He was right back at the war within just a handful of seconds.
They're still coming forward.
Yeah.
You have to wonder if this fight continues like this, Tom, and Marquez goes on to victory, where he would then really stand in terms of the 126-pounders of the world. He's getting up into the rarefied air, I think, and when he comes in tonight ranked 5th in the WBO, and of course the WBO champion is Naseem Hamed.
Well, I was going to ask you about him. I've never seen him fight. I know you have, or at least you've seen film on him, and I've got a friend of mine in Vegas who's seen him fight several times. He says the Prince, as he's lovingly called by his fans, is awkward, but he is something else indeed.
Oh, yeah, I had my doubts about him, but he's the real thing. He is the most unusual fighter in the world today, I think, in terms of style. It's something very unique, and you'd have to go back to the very early days, probably, of a young Cassius Clay to find a guy leaning backwards and as flexible as this Naseem Hamed is. The only difference is that Hamed has tremendous power in either hand. He can really crack as well.
He's become a legend in his own time over there in Old Blighty, hasn't he?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And, of course, he did defeat and knock out Tom Boom Boom Johnson, who had held one of the versions of the championship for a long time.
For a long time, there'd been talk of Marco Antonio Barrera and Naseem Hamed, but that would appear to be long ago in the past. Each man here running into a pretty good solid jab.
But maybe Marquez might be headed in that direction. If he can get a good victory here, he'd probably rise a notch or 2 in the rankings. You'd have to start thinking in terms of world championships in the not-too-distant future.
Marquez, who's in the black trimmed in red, has 14 knockouts out of his 19 straight victories.
Marquez throws some interesting body punches from long range, Tommy. They're kind of uppercuts to the body from a long way away. You don't often see punches hit it. I mean, he's straight on like now, and then he'll punch to the body.
Looks as though he's bleeding from the nose, Marquez.
He's taking some shots here tonight. But as we've already talked about, he's got great heart. It's going to take more than a bloody nose to slow him down.
Remember back in the first round, a headbutt caused a cut over the right eye of Agapito Sanchez, and he's weathered that storm thanks to the good services of Chuck Bodak.
Yeah, he's fought pretty well this round, Sanchez.
I think he has. In fact, I think he's won this round so far, but we only keep a score for ourselves. We'll be back. Hey, fight fans, the decision is in, and it's unanimous. The all-new Forum Boxing Sportswear is a winner. The finest in sweatshirts, t-shirts, satin jackets, and caps will make you look and feel like a champion. Don't be counted out. Get your Forum Boxing Sportswear at the Great Western Forum or by calling 310-673-1773 now.
I'm a soft-spoken kind of guy. There's nothing more important to me than a quiet chat with my son, Shaquille. I just marched to the phone and dialed 1-800-COLLECT. The money I saved him, he can use to buy some new backboards. Take it through the hole, Shaquille. And they wonder where he gets it from.
1-800-COLLECT. Save the people you call up to 44%.
Out they come for round number 9. Marquez 87, Sanchez 84. Excuse me, this is the 10th round after 9. This is the 10th round. So you've got Marquez, the champion, up by 3 points, huh?
That works out to 6 rounds to 3.
You give Sanchez the last round?
Last round, yes, to Agapito Sanchez. I thought it was a real good bounce-back round for him. Because it looked like the fight was beginning to get away from him.
Yeah, in light of the beating he took, seemingly so, for about 20 seconds, preceding round. Yeah, I thought he came back to Neither man has been down. And neither man has really looked like they were going to go down. For one brief moment, why Sanchez was in trouble, but he weathered the storm and came away well in round number 8. Scheduled for 12. Marquez, the champion, looking for his 20th straight win. Nice left hand work by Marquez, huh, Rich?
Yeah, and he knocked him off balance, which is hard to do with a guy like Sanchez. He's got that low center of gravity, Tom. He's got good balance when he comes in. Hard man to knock off balance, but Marquez was able to do it.
Pretty good right hand to the body counter by Sanchez, but Marquez got a couple of shots in as well. You hear the slap of leather. Pat Russell says, get him up, guys. Get him up. Good left hand by Marquez.
Real interesting chess match between these two, Tom. A lot of feinting in there. Guys looking, trying to find the opening. Marquez is finding it more often.
Sanchez has registered 14 knockouts, as has Marquez.
Marquez continues to make Sanchez fight from the outside. Real big advantage for Marquez. Keep it right the way it is. Ring center, long distance. Sanchez coming up short with punches like that. Sanchez would like to get it closer, but Marquez really doesn't allow it.
In case you missed the tail of the tape, why Marquez has a 4-inch advantage in the ring, 68 to 64. He's 5'7" to the Sanchez height of 5'4", so he does have an edge in height and reach. Taking a point away from Sanchez now. Russell has warned him a couple of times, and Sanchez will lose a point, and he can ill afford to do that. Round 10 coming to a close.
Wise.
The most unexpected force in nature is about to strike L.A.
Can you tell me what's underneath the cars apart?
She tried to warn them.
I heard the watch. It's gonna bust through.
You mean erupt?
Yeah.
Now he'll try to save them.
You don't like my plan? That's good. Give me another plan, but don't tell me we're backing out.
And an entire city will unite to do the impossible. Rated PG-13. The Coast is Toast Friday.
Round number 11 brings him out of the corners. That is Sanchez in the gold and black. Boy, you know, what a devastating thing it is to lose a point. If he lost around 10-9, and I suspect he might have, Rich, that becomes 10-8. That is really tough to overcome.
Right, and I think what you had there, Tom, is a dramatic turnaround in the scoring, in the fight. Because for example, in my scorecard, I had Marquez only ahead by 3 points prior to that round with 3 rounds to go. Still time for Sanchez. If by his losing that round and then losing a point, suddenly, at least on my card, he's 5 points down with 2 rounds to go. Now, instead of a close fight, now he needs a knockout to win, at least on my card.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. Whether your card is right or not, there's nothing wrong with the mathematics, and that is that it would appear Sanchez has got to knock Marquez out if he wants to take the title. Sanchez, as we've told you, was the shorter of the two men. There's a right hand thrown by Marquez that lands. hand wild by Sanchez. The first one was almost low. It might have landed, but he doubled up with that left hand. He missed badly.
Sanchez coming out very busy here, though, Tom, and maybe sensing a little bit of desperation in Sanchez. He's come out as active as he's been at the start of any round in this fight.
Yeah, I think that's a valid approach. I couldn't agree with you more that he's going to have to catch some magic in one big moment here. If he's going to turn the tide, he runs into an uppercut.
Yeah, he got a little too fancy. He went to fought a little bit too long about that one, I think. Too many feints and fakes, and finally Marquez just poked him one in the chops.
And he just got nailed with the right hand that was low. Marquez did. No admonition from Pat Russell, the referee, and Marquez, whether it hurt or not, was not going to give him the satisfaction of thinking that you had hurt me. Just blood coming now from the eye of Sanchez, and he went wheeling into the ring ropes. I don't think he's that hurt, but he did cascade in and bounce off. But there is blood coming now from the cut over the right eye of Sanchez. He got nailed again as he tried to close.
Yeah, and what is happening here is while Sanchez is taking chances, Tom, to try to get to Marquez, sensing his predicament, he is getting hit. He is getting clean shots, and he's getting hit very hard shots. And I think he's been slowing up here, and I think he was a little bit hurt by that left hook that sent him into the ropes.
Round 11 coming to a close. There's the bell, and a busy 11 rounds in the books with one more yet to go. Take a quick reminder as you look at Agapito, Sanchez, and the blood flowing, although Bodak's done an outstanding job, that the Crow, Jesse Magana, comes back on the 12th of May here at the Great Western Forum. And we look forward to his return. I know his faithful will as well. We hope you can join us then. Take another look at this one, Rich.
All right, here comes the left hook by... That seemed to be a little short, but that second one got to him. And if you look at his face, he looks a little bit jaded there, a little bit dazed after that punch. Then he got hit another good crisp shot before the end of the round that put him in a bad spot. And I did see blood spurting from that eye in the corner.
I think that left hand that sent him into the ropes was just enough to just open up that cut that Bodak's been working on and to bring it loose one more time. So here they come now, getting ready for the 12th round. Up they come. Russell brings the two fighters out, no touch gloves. We're not privy to all the scorecards, of course, but I would rely on Rich Murata's. His mathematics sometimes isn't too good, but his knowledge of the fight game is excellent. And I would think that Sanchez has got to knock Marquez out if he wants to win this time.
Well, you never know. I had De La Hoya ahead by 1 point going into the final round over Whitaker.
Well, you
the
didn't have
certainly didn't agree with that.
No, but I mean...
at least I had the right guy.
Yes, you did. And I don't know about the judge that saw it 116 to 111, if I remember. I don't. Sometimes it's, you see different things, of course. And judges have different ways of scoring fights. They give points to people for their aggressiveness and for trying to make the fight. Other people hold that if you're going to take the title away from a champion, you better knock him out or do something with that nature.
I don't know what Sanchez is doing here other than maybe trying to last out the 12th, because he has not come out with fire in his eyes the way that he did in that last round. And in fact, that eye is already opened up again in this round, and it's bleeding very badly in this round.
I don't know. There's more blood coming down the side of Sanchez's face now than we've seen at any time during the fight. Well,
Marquez bleeding from the nose, but I think this has really been a good disciplined performance against a cagey veteran here tonight by Juan Manuel Marquez.
Oh, yeah. Bear in mind that Sanchez came into this fight tonight with a record of 22-3, and he's been in with some of the very best at 122 pounds and even lighter, and at 124. And there's been no backup in Sanchez. He's put in a great performance, but Marquez continues to improve and continues to impress. He seems to get better with each and every outing. And he is a very popular fighter here in Los Angeles. never seen him lose. He's 19-1. And even when he's had some troubled moments, Rich, he's been a class item in the ring.
Yeah, he fought only 8 fights in Mexico before coming here to the United States. He impressed us immediately with a 4-round KO of Israel Gonzalez in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. And we were anxious to see more of him, and every time we've seen him, it's been a pretty good show.
Yeah. And he's working that uppercut with the left hand to perfection now. He has nailed Sanchez with it 3 or 4 times as the smaller, shorter man tries to move his way inside without success. And they're going to go right to the wire with some solid shots at each other. This is a real nice fight.
Look at how poised Marquez has been, though. He never left his game plan, Tom.
Beautiful.
He fought a brilliant fight here, I think.
I think he did, too. I'd be surprised if the judges saw it any other way other than the way you had it in the card. Of course, he was coming in, the crowd's favorite, and as he gets his nose wiped off, why, he's basking in a job well done. We'll be back to get the official count, and our congratulations to Sanchez. He fought well, but we think in defeat. We'll be back in a moment.
Kelsey Grammer, a player in the Toyota Celebrity Challenge.
Seve Ballesteros, one of the game's greatest players, once said, I don't trust psychiatrists. They're like golfers. All of them have a different answer to your problem. I find that just a little disturbing. Mr. Ballesteros, consider the gauntlet dropped.
Kelsey, your problem is your hands. It's your hands. Kelsey, it's defeat. It's defeat. Kelsey, you're looking at the ball with the wrong eye. No, the other eye.
The Toyota Celebrity Challenge, Saturday on Fox Sports West.
Seve, I concede.
It's the quest for the cup. Because the NHL playoffs are here and the Mighty Ducks want war. Anaheim is ready to start their climb to Lord Stanley's Cup. Yari Curry has been there before and he knows what it takes to make the cup. Now, Korea and Solani are ready to hoist the cup on their shoulders. Catch the excitement of select Mighty Ducks playoff games coming your way on Fox Sports West 2. Check local listings.
While we're waiting for Jimmy Lennon to give us the judges' report, I'll remind you, Jesse El Cuervo Magana will be back on our May 12th headline here at the Great Western Forum. Join us for that one then. Well, Jimmy's got the microphone now, the judges' cards. Let's find out the decision. Jimmy, if you will, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Our judge at ringside, Dick Young, scores at 117-110. Fritz Werner scores at 119-108. Chuck Hassett scores about 120-107. All three in favor of the winner. And still NABO featherweight champion, Juan Manuel Marquez.
So Marquez continues to reign, 20th victory. The contestant number 1 and contestant number 5 will advance into the Miss Ringsider competition. They are numbers 1 and 5. For Fernando Paramo and Rich Marotta, I'm Tom Kelly from the Great Western Forum. We say thanks for being with us. See you on the 12th, and good night to you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the beautiful Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as we have a big night of action in store for you. And it's all brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions, Top Rank Incorporated, and Arthur Palullo's Banner Promotions in association with the Mandalay Bay and Showtime. This bout coming away, it is sanctioned as a title attraction by the following organizations: the IBF, President Marion Muhammad, Supervisor Lindsey Tucker; the WBA, President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor Dr. Calvin Inelsing; and the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the Chairman is Skip Avancino Jr. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Adelaide Bird. From Albany, New York, Thomas Schreck. And from Biloxi, Mississippi, Fred Steinwinder III. Our third man of the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, He is working in this, his 178th world title bout, Richard Steele. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF and WBA Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left. He is fighting out of the blue corner. Entering the ring wearing red trunks with blue trim and joining us from Cartagena, Colombia. He weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds even, with a record of 34 wins, 4 losses, and 3 draws. He has 24 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the WBA and IBF number 12 featherweight contender in the world. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is